Good evening, everybody, or as they would say in Japan, konbanwa. So tonight I thought I would do this live in the living room in a gi. I've not had a gi on for, oh my God, for months and months and months. And you can probably tell actually, it's been a long time. So I thought I'd throw a gi on tonight and do it live in the living room in my gi. And I just need to adjust this slightly. So yeah, so let's get into it. What I will do is, if you've got any questions as you're watching, again, as normal, feel free to put the comments down there. If you've got a question you don't want to feel embarrassed about, inbox me, send me a text or whatever. I can do a video on basically anything you want me to do a video on. But yeah, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple tonight, and I will do all the waves in the break, because I've got a funny feeling that I'm going to need a break. And if you are watching, please click on the video. Don't just watch on your news feed. Please click so I know roughly how many people are watching. So all I want you to do is get into your heikadachi, all right? And then just move it a little bit further apart. So probably, I don't know, 1 1/4 shoulder width, 1 1/2 shoulder width wide, and then just relax your stance. Now I want you to turn 45 degrees and punch with your left arm. Sorry, your right arm. We'll go right arm. All right, now in this stance, make sure your knees are bent. I don't want to hear, I don't want to see, I don't want you to see your knees being straight at this point. What you're going to want a tendency to do is, when you lock into that stance, you're going to want to push this back leg straight. Don't do that. Keep that back leg nice and bent, and keep both knees nice and bent when you're twisting. The other thing I want you to do is twist on the balls of your feet as well. So don't twist on the heels. I don't know if you can see my feet, but don't twist on the heels. Always twist on the balls of the feet. Can't see because of the waves and things. So we've got we turn to you turn to your left, you put your right arm out, and then all you're going to do is simply just twist and punch. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, ach, ko, jo. Now the thing with this is, when you're punching on this 45-degree angle, you are going to want, your elbow's going to want to pop out. Don't let that happen. Try and keep it so the elbow remains into the ribs at all times. Oh, I'm doing it already. Okay. This, by the way, this twisting is going to be the basis for the majority of this class. All right, we'll get into some kicks, some kata later on, but we're going to start with just the twisting first. This time, rather than twist and punch, what I want you to do is I want the hips to do the work for you. So while you're twisting, imagine there's the only muscle in your arm to use is enough muscle to control the arms to go in a straight line, all right? And then obviously you're going to put the key in at the end. But when you're doing this, it's almost like your arms are, you know, when you're using your hips, you know when you're putting the twist in properly. Watch my arms. This is me just turning. If I put the hip in, watch what my right arm will do now. That's with nothing in it. Now we're going to go the other way. So if you just let your arms hang loose, let it all hang loose, and then just throw your hip in. If your arm doesn't do that, chances are that you're not putting enough hip in. So now what I want you to do is I want you to let the hips do the work for you. So you're going to fire first, but it's not going to be 1, 2. From this position, let everything happen, let the hips do the work for you, and just let the arm come out in a straight line. And then again the other side. And you'll notice that I've not got, my fist isn't tight, so I'm not putting too much effort in with the arms. It's all going to be in the hips. So together, ish, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, ach, ko, jo. Okay, the other thing that should happen, this again is why I've worn a gi, because however short my skirt is, that should happen, and the belt should do this. That's part of the only reason why I make people wear belts, so I can see if they're using the hips or not. Oh my God, this is tight. So I can see if they're using the hips or not. Because again, if you just not focusing on it, but focus on what the belt's doing, yes, hips are there, but I'm not using them properly. Now we're using them properly because there's that whipping action, okay? So we want to get that whip with the hips. The whip with the hips. So relax your stance now, we're warmed up. Or we're getting warmed up anyway. Right, there's 5 people watching, but only 1 person I can wave to. Which means that there's a few of you that you've not actually clicked on the video, which is disappointing. I've got to say, I'm going to go and cry in a corner in a minute. No, come on people. If you're watching, do, even if it's 10 minutes, just do something. Right, this time, I want you to focus your attention to my feet, all right? So I'm taking the face out of the equation, you lucky people. All right, so what I want you to do now is start in your high catch position and step out to the side. You're not going to go too wide, but I want you to step out to the side, and as you step, guide arm, I'll do it this way so you can see. As you step out to the side, guide arm and prepare. And then both feet twist into the punch, and then come back to your high catch. And from this position, step out to the side slightly, twist and punch, then come back to your high catch. Okay? So that's all you're basically going to be doing, is stepping out to the side slightly, twist and punch. But I want you to be aware of the direction of your feet. So when you're stepping, again, watch my pinkies, don't step this way. Not this. When you step, here. So there's no change there. The feet have remained. They've gone from this position here to high catch to this position. Humans, us, when we walk and we want to change direction, the first thing we do is we point our toes in that direction. So if I'm, say, walking towards you now and I want to go to my left, I'll point my toes first. I want you to get out of that tendency, get away from that completely, okay? Get away from that. Yeah, just. I think the knot was a little bit further up. And I think the belt was a little bit longer. But yes, just. It's not the belt I'm worried about. It's the tightness of the gi that I'm kind of worried about. I think I might need a bigger gi, or I need to lose some pig in weight so I can fit into this gi again. Let's do that one. Yeah, let's do the weight loss thing. Let's not buy bigger clothes. Let's just keep the same clothes but lose some of the pounds. Hence why I'm training. So we're going to step first. Step, twist. Now it's up to you how you make this. You can either make it Kazamazuki or you can make it just a full-on Yakuzuki. So Kazama Yakuzuki will be the snap. So you'd be step, twist, out and back. Okay? It wouldn't hang there. Or you can just do a full-on Yakuzuki. Locking in at the end. That's entirely up to you, alright? So I'm going to leave that with you. I'm going to leave it up to you, whichever one you want to do. The main thing about this is stepping first, twisting second, okay? So we'll do some together. Stepping first, alternating sides. I don't care which side you go to, providing you are focusing on where your feet are pointing. And just so you know, I did this in class last night. This was taught to a couple of students last night, and they were amazing at it. They were really, really good at it, all right? Good students, good teacher, don't know which one it is, but you know. All right, so we're going to go to whichever side you want first. I'm going to start with my left, you can start with your right, it's entirely up to you. So we're just going to step, twist in and punch. And if you are wearing a gi, which I might start doing these in gis from now on, if you are wearing a gi, just make sure that you've got that the hips moving, things wobbling. Knee, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hach, ko, jo. Okay, we're gonna step it up a notch. I don't think we're gonna go faster, but we are gonna step it up a notch. Now, instead of going, and again, focus on the feet, all right? If any of you out there got a foot fetish, focus on the feet. So from this position, instead of going 1, 2, I want you to go straight to number 2. forget number one. I hear you ask, how do we get there? Okay, here's the thing. Stepping, but if I try and hover this, what's going to happen is, watch this foot now. This foot's stepping out. It's not hit the floor yet. But as it's going to hit the floor, that happens. So you kind of get that action. So whichever your back foot's going to be, fire that heel away from your punch. So if punch is going this way, I'll fire the heel away, if that makes sense. Avoid 1, 2 now, and just make it more in. So you're kind of falling with grace, but even though you're stepping and you're not landing first and twisting, I might be a little bit too loud. Somebody give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If I'm being too loud, I'll quieten down, but I just like teaching. Okay. Yes, we've got the Red Bull. So, it's almost like you're taking your back foot and you're pushing into your stance. But even though you're doing that, don't turn this foot until the last minute. So it's kind of going to go 1, notice how it's still pointing forwards, and then together, okay? So again, we're going to alternate sides. If you have to do 1, 2, feel free, but I want you to try and go straight to number 2. All right, it's just a transitional move, just straight to number 2. With the punch. Ish. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. Sich. Ach. Ko. Jo. Oh, good. Good, so I'm not too loud, so I've been told. Okay, so that's the punching. Now we're going to put blocks into play. One of the things that I notice a lot, a heck of a lot, in kata, I'm going to kneel down for this one. One of the things I notice a heck of a lot in kata is people don't know how to use the hips in transition. Now, in order for me to go do a video on that, I would need a couple of days. And I mean 9 AM till 9 PM. Non-stop for at least 2 or 3 days. Alright, so, but we haven't got that time. So whenever you're going through things in kata, just notice that how your foot's positioned, how your feet are positioned. Get away from the human tendencies of, I want to change direction, I'll go this way first. No, no, no. Here, then this. Not this, because that's you leading with the toes. I don't want to lead with the toes, I want you to lead with the ball, with the heel, sorry. So you step out here, and then you bring the heel in, as opposed to pushing the toes outwards. Does that make sense? So if these are my feet, let's imagine these are my feet now. Instead of going 1, 2, toes out, I want it to go 1, 2, heel in. All right, and again, when you change direction, you're going to go from where you are now, you're going to want to do this. You're going to do this. Get away from that human tendency. Now we're going to put some blocks in there. So I'm going to break it down into stage 1. Again, step twist. But then I'm going to throw in the extra one. So what I'll probably do is, I'll probably do a mixture of each, but you probably do 20 on each side. Yeah, so you can actually work up to this. So we're going to go from this position now. As we step, we prepare. We're going to block Jordan Uke. Okay, so we're going to come to the shoulder, or to the shoulder vicinity. So from here, step. Notice the guide arms out. Notice I'm looking where I'm supposed to be going. Notice I'm looking where I'm supposed to be going. Well, I'm going to do in a minute. And then from this position, we take our feet and we twist into the block. Error, oops, sorry. All right, you might see me dropping my arms from time to time. I've got really, really bad shoulders, and to stand like this for a long time really, really hurts. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of a breather in between. Oh, come on, keep going, guys. Keep going, keep looking. Don't keep looking, keep doing. So we're going to go to that same side again. Step and prepare. Now notice that when the leg moves, the arms move. You should see me in a club. Bump. You know, it's like YMCA, isn't it? So as soon as that leg moves, arms have moved. But we're not putting that into the arms. It could be punch, but we're not going to put that in there. So when you step, arms move as well, prepare. And then twist. Twist the way you're going to go. Use both feet and raise up to the Joranagi Yuke. But then coming back to your Hikirachi. Good basic principle. If you're stepping out your left foot, bring your left foot back into Hikirachi. You're kind of going to go side to side. I'm just trying to stay in the centre of the camera. So you might find me sort of fixing my feet up. But a good basic principle for you would be stepping out with the left foot, bring the left foot back in. Stepping out with the right foot, or the right foot comes back in. Okay, so you might see me moving both feet, but that's okay. If you feel the need to do that, like I say, I'm trying to stay in shot, in camera shot. So what I want you to do is, I want you to, not you two, I want you to, if you move the left foot, only bring the left foot back in. Don't go from here to here, okay? If you move the right foot, only bring the right foot back in. Does that make sense? So, don't move both feet when you're stepping back into Hikirachi. Again, I'm only doing it so I can stay in shot. So from there, we're going to go to our, whichever side you want first, step and prepare, ish, turn and block, knee, and then back to your Hikirachi. Okay, other side now, step and prepare, ish, turn and block, knee. So you're actually blocking on a 45-degree angle. Alright, but make sure your forearm's still in front of your head. So if we do it this way, step, block. Still in front of the face. No matter which direction I face, the forearm is in front of the forehead. Forearm, forehead. Anywhere else for this exercise, don't do it. Forearm, forehead. But then again, if I look that way, forearm's forehead. Okay, so we're going to go to this side now. Ish, knee. Other side, ish, knee. Let's put the whole thing together. So again, you can do step twist if you want. I'm just going to go straight into it. Until you can get step twist, don't run before you can walk. Okay? Step twist first. Only then can you move into straight into this. Alright? So it's not a race. Karate is not a race, it's a journey. And it's an amazing journey. Black belt isn't the destination. Okay? It's not the destination, it's just the beginning. Alright? So don't ever think your karate is a race, because it's not. You don't have to keep up with whoever is stood next to you. Unless it's me, then you've got to keep up with me. Alright, so from there, ish. Other side, knee. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Now, one thing that you will want to do is when you prepare, you don't want that to happen. So from where you are, Obi faces the front, Obi. Obi's going to face the front. Here. Here. Not here. Okay? So no wind and then out. From this position, straight out. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Sich. I did that on purpose. Hach. That was 2 on purpose. Go. Jo. Okay, now I'm going to count you through 10. While I'm counting through 10, I'm going to take 2 minutes. So, are you ready? Nice and strong. Hach. Ning. San. Shi. Go. Rick. Touch. Ach. Go. Do. Okay, relax, shake your arms off. Shake your arms off, grab some elixir. Most people use water. Okay. Same thing. So again, you're gonna get more opportunities to work on this. Same thing. See that there? Yeah, I just pulled it. Okay. I might just slow things down now. So from this position, going out to the side again. Guide arm, prepare. We change the block now to an uchi uke, inside hooking block. Now remember, uchi uke, hand coming up, comes up on the outside. Doesn't come on the inside. So just be aware of that. Make sure that your palm of your guide arm can rub past the back of the uke. So again, we're going to start off slowly. Step twist first. Ish. Hips haven't gone anywhere. Foot's moved, prepared. Knee. And come back. Now I'm going to go the opposite side. Ish. Foot's not gone, hips not gone anywhere. Foot's moved. Notice that it's the heels off the floor. That's fine to do. And then turn and block. And then back. Okay, let's start putting that together now. Ish. Knee. So it's almost like when you're doing this, you're kind of winding this up. In basics, you would block this way with this block. So there will be that kind of 1-2 effect. We're already there. So it's almost like we're going 1 and then throwing everything into the block. If you're feeling really frisky, you can add to this. You can certainly add to this. It could be 1, 2. I'll throw on a high toe out there, so it could be 1, 2. It could be anything you want, all right? So we'll keep going again. San. Elbows down. Shi. Don't let that happen. Boom, 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 boom. Here. There. Here. Arm wrestling in reverse. Okay, you want to lose the arm wrestle. Whoop. Not here. Here, look where it covers. You're blocking this part. You're not blocking this part. Not with an uke, sorry. You're blocking this part. You're blocking the sternum. If somebody says that an uke is a stomach block, no, no. Get Ambarai's stomach, groin. Get an uke stomach, groin. Uchuke is not, neither is sotuke, sternum. Okay, block itch. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Rik. Sich. Tell you what, when it's done right, you'll feel it. You'll feel it all lock into play. Hach. Hu. Ju. Okay, now we're going to throw, we're taking away number 1. Taking away number 1. I see some people just being nosy. Just come on for the fun of it. Makes you chuckle. I'll say this to everybody watching this video now. 6:30, every Thursday evening, I'm doing this. You don't have to come on to be nosy to see what I'm doing this. Give me a thumbs up if you're doing it with me. Okay, take out number 1, straight to number 2. Ish. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Rik. Sich. Ach. Go. Ju. Now, I was doing something wrong there, but I was doing it on purpose. I'll tell you what it is, because I don't want to really sort of play that game right now. I wasn't looking where I was going. Why? I wanted to check out my own form and check that I was doing what I'm saying I'm doing. Okay. This, by the way, Some of you are thinking, God, James, you can talk for England. Yeah, I can. I love talking. This, by the way, this exercise is just a basis. It's just a very, very simple basis. You can add to this. So I'm only giving you the skeleton of the whole thing. You can add in whatever you want. Use this, people. Don't let someone else tell you what to do. The main point of the exercise is the footwork. Not the arms, it's the footwork. Okay? So you can even do this with shuto uke, kaki uke, shuku uke, giran uke, and soto uke. You can do it with them all. Now with soto uke and giran uke, you wouldn't do this. It would be reversed. So you'd throw everything around into that block. A bit like you do when you're doing kata basai dai. You know, so there's a reverse soto uke and basai dai here. Followed by an uchi uke. That's kind of what you'd be doing. You'd be stepping in, prepare, throwing the arm into this. So if I do it this way so you can see, you'd be stepping in, but still clearing the body. That's hip square. I'm going to go a little bit further with the hip. Okay, next technique, giran barai. Shoulder down. Same as Jordan, only we're going to go downwards. The ball starting in the same place. One goes up, one comes down. Whichever side you want first. Ish, step twist. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong after the block? Rook. Sich. Ach. Ko. Jo. There's a correct way, or there's a way that I prefer to finish. Particularly in students. The higher you go, the further you can see. So some things can get lax. Some things you can decide, you know, I don't want to do that. But for students, good practice. Every single time. Here, yoi. Because you're going back into that yoi position. You go into that yoi position, that ready position. So what I was doing was just here. There was no arm, there was nothing else there. So it's good practice to have that between counts. Okay? So whenever you're teaching, if you are a teacher, just give your students the opportunity to just reset. Okay, so if you're teaching karate to students, don't go so fast. Knee, oh crap, where am I going? Give your students the opportunity to practice properly. And give yourself the opportunity to practice properly. If you're going through this, you might notice my fast count before, there was pauses in between. It wasn't ich, ni, san, chi, go, rik. I've given you the chance. So if you are watching this and you are a karate instructor or martial arts instructor and you're doing things by the numbers, just give your students a chance between counts. It's not hard and fast. So don't think fast. Ich, ni, san, chi. There's nothing wrong with that's hard and fast. Alright, that's strong and fast. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3. Karate doesn't always have to be a sweat box. Train this first. You train this to work and the rest is going to come. Promise. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a sweat box. A lot of my class, the one thing that I pride to dashi on is the fact that we spend more time thinking. More time looking into. Alright? 90% is why. 10% is the how. That's a lot of, you know, everybody can do the how. That's easy. So giran barai again. Either step twist or straight into the twist. Ish. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rik. Sich. Ach. Go. Sorry. Got to like number 9 and I totally forgot. Ju. Okay, so with that in mind, let's have 2 minutes. 2 minutes while I clear out this screen. Any questions so far for anybody that might be potentially watching at this point in time? It's always a good idea to sorry, I was just cleaning out notifications. It's always a good idea to ask questions. I've heard stories in the past of students were scared to ask questions. Nah, we quit because the sensei didn't like talking. Seriously? We quit because every time we asked a question, he snapped at us. I've heard those stories before. I've heard them. Now, here's my advice if you are watching this, and your sensei, or your shihan, or your hanshi, or whoever it is you are training with, Sifu, Sabum-ni. Sifu is Chinese, Sabum-ni is Taekwondo, Korean. They all probably mean the same. They all do mean the same thing. Teacher, boss, one who was gone before in life. They're all the same thing. So if you're with a style, what's your style? If you're with a club or your teacher and they don't like questions, because I know. All right, this isn't a slag off session, but there is one particular club out there where some instructors can't answer questions, or the only answer they've got is because the boss said so. It's a crappy answer. You know, that's a crappy answer. If the answer you're going to get is because sensei said so, or because the boss said so, because, you know, if that's the only answer you're going to get, you need to change. You need to change places where you train, change dojos, change disciplines. You know, go somewhere else. Because a teacher that doesn't like questions isn't a teacher. A teacher that doesn't like questions is a dictator. And if you're part of a dictatorship, we're not in Nazi Germany. All right, so just be careful of that. Just be careful of who you're training with and what questions you're asking and what answers they're giving. I love questions. I absolutely love questions. There's a book called Questions Are the Answers. And I am always asking questions, and I always like to answer questions as well. So, you know, just have that in mind. If you've got a question you want to ask, but you don't want to put it publicly, that's perfectly fine. Send me an inbox. Send me a private message. Send me a private message. And maybe I'll do a video on it. Might not be a long video. It might be, you know, segments. If somebody gave me like 6 questions, 6 different questions, we've got 10 minutes on each question for an hour. Or 20 minutes and 2 videos. 20 minutes per question and 2 videos. So just have that in mind, all right? Okay, this time. Step your right leg back, hands then cut to that. Now, in this stance, your feet are 45 degrees. Okay, feet are 45 degrees. Guard is in position. You are not going to move your feet, but you are going to, and if I can, I've got a bit of a barrel, you're going to move your hips. You know, you think there's someone at the door, but there isn't. No. So what I'm going to do from this position is just twist the hip in. Just go from where we are, twist the hip in. Now, the other thing I want you to do is just go from here. We're going to do a bit of a kumite drill now. A bit of a kumite drill. I think we might give Carter a miss tonight. See how we go. So from this position now, I want you to just punch. So while I'm talking, just punch. Don't bring the punching arm back to the hip. Let it start at the solar plex. Let it finish at the solar plex. Bend your knees. Keep your elbows in. Sorry, you can see it from this direction. Let this push your elbow through. So when you're striking, let that happen. So it's kind of like your back hip is pushing your elbow through, okay? I don't like to stand on the side too much, it looks like a capital D. If you go the other way, a B. So I don't like standing on the side too much. It's out of my comfort zone. Alright, so it's alright being fat, so long as you can back it up with something. I wouldn't say I'm slow, I wouldn't say I'm sluggish. I would still say that I've got a little bit of it, still. So from this position, we're just going to fire the hip. Punch. Make sure you twist it at the end, bringing the hikate back to the hip. The body weight is going to transfer forwards, yes. The back foot might come off the floor slightly, but that's okay. Be doing this as I'm talking. But don't twist that back heel in. Just want the hip to work. Just the hip. Nothing else. Feet aren't moving, so we're not, when I say feet aren't moving, if you can see my back foot, not this. If you can see my back foot in this picture now, not this. Just twist. You're going to collapse that back leg that little bit extra. Just collapse and twist. And then just throw the punch out. Keep going. Be aware of what's going on. Now what you'll find is that what's happening is your hip is, forgive the slapping, I've not got this hand tight. Again, my hands are mashed, so I can't keep them tight for too long. So, what you'll notice when doing this is that your arm becomes loose. And you end up with a bit of kime at the end. So now, to the count, what I want you to do is explode. I don't mean what's it called when you set on fire? I don't mean that. Spontaneous combustion, I don't mean that. I don't mean spontaneously combust, although I feel like it right now. But what I'd like you to do is just whenever you're ready, we did this last week a little bit, didn't we? Whenever you're ready, just punch. In fact, we're going to do it on the count. And it's just hip. Just the hip. We're not going to play that game again. It's just the hip. Ish. Knee. Let the hip do the work for you. The arm is just a passenger. This is the traveller. This is the vehicle. San. She. And you'll find that your arms are relaxed, but you're still going to have some power at the end. Go. Rook. No foot movement, just hip twist. Sich. Ach. Go. Joe. Alright, so it's unfair to train one half of the body, so let's train the other. So we're going to start off slow. So get into your haikadech. Not your haikadech, your hands then cut to that. Hands half, then cut to that. Forward stance, whatever it translates to. Half a long stance. Okay, hands, half. So again, start from the solar plex. Now, when you're doing this, don't draw back. Now, there's a reason I don't want you to draw back. Okay? I'll talk about it in a second. Just work on, start at the solar plex, finish at the solar plex. Start at the solar plex, finish at the solar plex. Start at the solar plex, finish at the solar plex. Punch. Keep going as I'm counting. Sorry, as I'm talking. Elbow remains in the frame of the body, not this. Elbow's coming through, using that hip to push the elbow through. Still bringing the hikate back to the hip. Hikate is the hip hand, returning. But your striking arm is just literally that, striking. Now, avoid this. What's just happened? I'll demonstrate one more time for you. Now I'll do it from the front so you can see. Okay, what's happened? Because I'm drawing this arm back, one, I'm telling my opponent this is coming. Kumite, self-defense. Think about it for these two things. I'm telling my opponent this is coming by drawing it back. I'm amplifying that by this. Kumite perspective, knocked on your backside. Fight perspective, look what's happened to my front arm. I've just given them this and this. Here. Now they can't have that. They can't have my ribs either. Slight movement here, dropping the elbow down. If I'm here, I can still drop it down, but look at this. From there, boom. That's it, that's it. That's all you need. Okay, so when we're doing this, don't wind. So again, ish, ni, san, shi, go. Still practicing good hikate. Ruk, sich, ach, ku, ju. Okay, while I'm talking, you can keep going through this. I'm probably going to finish with this actually. And I'll give you some footwork. Yes, you have opened up too much. And it's also got long trail to target. Yes, yeah, that's right. Yes, it has. You're right. Both answers. Even though, yeah, I think there was a question there. Yes, you have. You've opened up way too much. You've done what I call, whenever you're blocking someone, you close yourself off. Okay, which isn't a good place to be. You want to make sure you're nice and open. You want to make sure you've got, from this position, you've not closed yourself off and that you've got to work harder for that one-arm defence. If I'm here, in this position, I'm here, I've got one arm to defend. This one's got to go a long, long way to travel to defend myself. If I'm here, this can work, this can also work. Okay, but I don't have that far to go. And I've got two arms to block with. Karate's not just about, you know, it's not the end of the matrix where Neo's doing this. Very cool, but that's not how it is. Sorry. Okay, now, what I want you to do now is, go back to your right leg back. Go into a defensive position. Now, it's times like this where I wish I could see defensive position. It's times like this, it's all the time actually. I wish I could see you right now. I really do wish I could see you. Defensive position. Here. Why? Why is here my defensive position? Why not here? Why not here? Why not there? Why not there? Why is here my defensive position? Give you a second or two to answer. Why not one arm down, one arm high? Why have I gone here? There's two reasons. Well, there's a few reasons actually. I'm going to give you the answers. Notice that I put my right leg back. Because most people will swing right-handed. What's this protecting? It's not protecting a hook punch from there, is it? I've gone defensive. I've not gone here. This is you saying, I surrender. This is you now being victim. I surrender. Here. Palms are forwards. Why? Because it shows you're hiding nothing. What's in my hand? Who knows? This is innocent. This is defense. So not here. Not here. This in itself says victim. So don't go there. I don't think you're clever and go here either. Nice in the dojo. Looks nice in... Oh, I had a bit of a flash then. Ooh. Looks nice in the dojo. But go here. Okay. Notice that from this position, I'm protecting my head. I'm also protecting my head. Okay? Martial artists, people in general, can take. No matter how fat you are, you can take hits to the stomach. Doesn't matter. Yes, you're stepping away. You're stepping away, but... So we step back. What we're going to do is, we're actually going to step in. So your defensive position is this. So this will be a basic key-on exercise. And all we're going to do is, as we did from here, we're going to go from there. I don't know if I brought this back or not. Still protecting. Didn't draw back. So you're going to explore from that position on the count. And we are going to finish with this. So just in your fighting position, just in your defensive position, not fighting position. Let's call it defensive position. Okay? Kata teaches us that karate is defensive, not offensive. See if you can tell me why. Kata teaches us that karate is defensive, not offensive. Why? If I don't have the answer by the end of this video, I'll give you the answer. So you know from where you are, defensive, and then just strike. It's called a teisho. Teisho. Now if you're feeling really, really frisky, tuck your thumb in and send that into here. Just even that hurts a little bit. So here's defense. Don't make it look obvious. This one's out, this one's in. From that position, you can even go from here in on the way out. So you can either strike teisho, or we're going to go to the throat. Doesn't matter which one you use. But I want you to explode from zero. Ni. San. Shi. Push. Go. You can go faster than me, by the way. Fetch. Hutch. Go. One more for good luck. Two. Now we're only going to work one side. Why? Because the majority of attacks are going to come to your left hand side anyway. This time we're going to step in. So instead of going back and prepare, I want you to use your camera to see where this hand is. Face level, not in front of the face. Face level. Why? There's another reason. It's psychological. It's a kind of subliminal thing. But by doing this, have you ever seen boxers when they're training in a ring? They have punch pads, focus mitts. The trainer doesn't hold the focus mitt here. It's going to hold it here, alright? So just have that in mind when you're doing this. That what it's also doing is it's taking their attention away from this. And it's putting their attention here and here. Okay, so now we're going to step in. But it's not going to be 1, 2, 3. And it's not going to be 1, 2. Question number 2. Where is this kind of exercise from? It's from different katas, but there's one in particular I'm thinking of. Knee. And this is that from here, but from a standing neutral position. In. San. Now what we're doing is risky because we are not avoiding the punch. We are preempting the strike. Now the count is there, as I was saying to class last night, the count is there for one reason. And it's there for your reaction time. So if you find that you're moving before I count, or every time I twitch you're going to move, or every time I say something you think it's time to move, you get yourself into a bad habit. You stood talking to somebody, imagine you stood talking to somebody in a bar, and they're just simply checking the time. Now that will be a non-count, that will be you moving to the non-count. And you react and it's like, I'm checking the time, bish, bash, bosh. Alright, you've knocked them out. And they were only seeing what time it was. The count is this. The count is the reaction to the punch. So don't just move willy-nilly for the sake of moving. Move on the count. Stop! You'll also notice that I've given myself options. When I'm striking, this thumb's in. So even though I can have this, I can still have this if I want to, okay? Or, if it's there in the face, I can still go underneath if I want to. Okay, you can also come around the side of the neck, and anybody with nails, 1, 2. Rake the face, 1, 2. Rake the face, 1, 2. Rake the neck. Okay, so if you've got nails, hands open. If you don't have nails, hands closed. Or, you know, don't think about raking, but if you've got nails, use them. You know, you strike, boom, rake. So you can add that in now if you want. You can even go 1, 2, rake in the face. We can go 1, 2, 3, rake in the face. So I'm going to leave it entirely to you. There is no ceremony for this. It's just so you block the punch, strike, strike, strike. Okay, you've struck them 3 times, or just twice. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to leave the rake in the face entirely up to you. Rick. Fetch. Ouch. Cool. Do. Okay. I can see no one's answered my question. So the question was, and I'm going to finish with this. The question was, kata, teaches us that karate is defensive, i.e. passive. Why? It's not an offensive thing. It's a passive art. It's also a passive way of life. So why? Because every single kata you will ever do will start with a defense or an avoidance. Every single kata starts with defense. Not one of them starts with what we know as strikes. However, we also know that the blocks can be strikes. The ukes can be strikes. Jodanagi uke to block a punch, but can also be used underneath, up underneath the throat. Yes and no. It's purely because of the defense act, because of the defense. It's purely because when every kata you start off with is defensive only. It's a passive martial art. It's not aggressive. So you could say it's passive aggressive, because there's going to be a counter-attack in there at some point. It's not made for violence, but it can be violent. That's why not a lot of people practice karate. You know, they'd rather do BJJ or, you know, taekwondo or kickboxing because it sounds hard. Karate sounds like a bit of a wuss's martial art. But to me, it's not. To me, it's a very, very strong, powerful martial art. Regardless of what style of karate is you do. Goju, Shitoru, Shotokan, Tadashi. I don't want to say the other one. Kyokushinkai. All, to me, all that is power. It's, you know. So that's the reason. Every card starts with defense or avoidance of trouble. So, as the saying goes, the greatest warrior will avoid trouble at all costs. I'm going to leave that with you. Until next time, feel free to leave comments, feel free to leave questions, feel free to leave what ifs, and I will see you on the next video. And remember, if you are watching this, 6:30 every Thursday, unless I say it's otherwise, don't just be nosy. Don't just come on here just to nose for 5 minutes and then go off. Just, that's what I'm doing. 6:30 till 7:30. I'm doing karate. All right, I'll leave that with you. It'll be on YouTube as well later. All right, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in. And I will see you on the next video. Stay safe. Sayonara.